Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days. So, a couple of shout outs to start. I've got Wishbone1231 and Oliver Jones. Big thank you to you guys, and also big thank you to all of you that watch these reviews. So, I was worried about this week's show. I was worried because these themed shows are normally awful. There's no two ways about it. They're normally awful, like the Christmas ones. I like the old school Raw episodes they've done in the past. I don't think we've had one this year, but I was worried about this Halloween one. I expected Charlotte, Sasha, Steph to open up the show. I was really impressed that it was Goldberg. I knew that Goldberg was on this week, but I didn't expect him to open the show. The segment was good. I honestly thought Brock was coming out. Paul Heyman did swerve me. He built it up perfectly. Really like what Heyman was doing about, going, look at all your faces. Look at your son, Goldberg. Look how excited he was that he was going to see Goldberg against Brock. In fact, I thought he could have played on that more. Look at how excited, Goldberg, your son was when he thought he was about to see Brock Lesnar. Something along those lines, use Goldberg's son in the storyline more. I just thought that was a slight missed opportunity. It was a weak spear as well. I mean, Rusev coming out made very, very little sense. There needed to be some kind of action, but I think it would have been just more impressive, more impactful if Goldberg had said, look, I've got a message for Brock. Can you relay this back to him? Bang, spear. As it was, that whole thing with Rusev coming out was a bit flat, and then the spear itself was weak. I can't remember if he had to kind of do it over Rusev or if he didn't get enough room, but the extension of it just wasn't quite right, which was a bit of a disappointment. But still, a cool spot and a strong opening. This took up about 15 minutes. Next, we get Gallows and Anderson coming out in a trick or street fight against what I thought was Enzo and Big Cass. It turns out just to be Gallows against Enzo, and it was just... This is what I fear with these themed episodes, is where they have pumpkins around the ring, and just, it was awful. Enzo and Big Cass dressed as Woody and Buzz I thought was fun, and it fits in with their characters. Gallows and Anderson shouldn't be anywhere near these kinds of matches. That bit where he puts his head into the bucket full of apples, and when he comes up, Gallows got an apple in his mouth. It's just silly. That's where it goes too far. And I get that it's, there's got to be stuff for kids in there, and it's a very wide audience. But for me, that was just wide of the mark. This shouldn't have been a match. It needed to be a massacre with Gallows absolutely destroying Enzo. I gotta be honest, I was just glad when this finished. Next, we got Brian Kendrick coming out, and he had a normal graphic, and then it changed and went over to saying Cruiserweight. I thought they'd forgotten that he was now the Cruiserweight champion, but it's not the case. When KO comes out later, they do exactly the same. Says his name, and then it changes and says that he's the Universal Champion. I don't really like it. I don't know why they've started doing that. They might have been doing it for ages and I've just never noticed, but this is the first time I noticed that happening. Huge Hurricanrana over the top rope. This was Kendrick against TJP in a rematch. This was... I liked his promo before the match, Brian Kendrick, where he was saying, I'm too smart for you. I knew I could play on your emotions. I've got a plan for tonight, so I hope you have a plan. I like where they're going with his character. Huge Hurricanrana. His plan was to just get counted out, which was a bit of an obvious plan. This match for me was fine, served a purpose, and I think it would have been cool if TJP was beaten up on Brian Kendrick after, and obviously TJP has won by countout. Now, my understanding is that means that he is entitled to another championship match because he has defeated the champion. So he should get another title opportunity. I think it would be cool that because he got so frustrated he beats him up afterwards, if the ref had reversed the decision, because that means that there's no entitlement to a championship match and Kendrick walks away with the belt. Again, felt like a missed opportunity. I saw a This Is Rawsome sign, which I just thought was noteworthy because Raw hasn't been awesome for quite a long time. It's had moments. I'm not going to be one of those people on the internet that's just going to kick Raw around, because I don't think it deserves it, and I thought this week's show actually was alright. I've seen a few reviews already from people where they're just like, oh, it's just the worst, these Halloween shows, and it was alright. There was some alright stuff in here. I liked Foley in his promo saying you walked out a winner to KO, but you could have walked out a legend. Thought that was a cool little bit. And I thought that this whole promo bit was smart. Kevin Owens, Jericho being on the team, and then Roman Reigns. I was disappointed when Reigns came out, because that means no Shield reunion, or at least I thought no Shield reunion. Obviously, things go down later in the show. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Darren Young, we got the Battle Royal next. Darren Young dressed as Bob Backlund, I thought was really fun. Strowman wins the Battle Royal and joins, as it said on the graphic, the final member. So that's Roman, Jericho, KO and Strowman. Those are your 4 for Team Raw. And New Day dressed as Farouk. Could have been, I think it was Farouk. Could have been The Rock, but I don't think, did Rock have the hat? I think it was Farouk. Papa Shango and Godfather, and they said Francesca 2 is dead. Noteworthy. But that her sister is on the way. It was a fun promo where they were running down the SmackDown teams. Next up we get Cruiserweights. Cedric Alexander came out to Drew Gulak's graphic, so a bit of a bodge. Another 6-man match was really annoying. I'm sick of seeing them. I don't need to see these because I watched the CWC. I know who all of these guys are. Surely the universe knows who these guys are now. We've had enough 6-man matches. But it was Swan, Alexander, Dorado versus Gulak, Nese and Daivari. Swan wins with a jackknife cover after a really stiff kick to Tony Nese. It looked pretty brutal. But yeah, it was what it was. And it was fine. It just was what it was. Charlotte carried out again, which I absolutely loved. Cuts a great promo. She's the captain of the women's team and Survivor Series. Calls Bayley out. No wacky people, which I thought was noteworthy. Sets up a match because she says that Bayley is the weak link, and we get Nia Jax against Bayley. Why was this not made for next week? I seem to recall this being a takeover match, and now we're just getting it as a, right, I want you two to face off right now. That does bring a bit of like, wow, okay, yeah, let's do that to Raw. And I think it's right that Nia gets the win because it could set up a rematch in the future. But I'd much rather that they just went, you two are going to fight next week. And then it built up, wow, you're going to get Nia Jax against Bayley next week, and it gives Bayley a chance to prepare and, get some tactics. And but yeah, it was a shame that it was just there and then. But because it was there and then, it was right that Nia won. Cesaro and Sheamus against Shining Stars, tap to the Cloverleaf. Golden Truth skip was... and a US Championship match to finish. Roman against Jericho. KO driving Roman into the post gave Jericho the upper hand. Roman obviously starts coming back into the match, and KO gets involved again. DQ finish, but it's that bit at the end when Seth comes out and you're just waiting for a handshake or something, and Raw finishes with the Roman in the ring, Seth in the ring. They're just kind of looking at each other, and it's just like, is that it? Is that it? Is that the start of it? It's oh man, it's so exciting because now we could be getting a Shield reunion, and that is what I need to see. I need that reunion. I really want to see the Shield get back together. I think it would be great for all of them. Actually, I think all of them could benefit from a Shield reunion at this stage in their kind of careers. Not for long, just small time. Have them run roughshod over a few teams. Be great actually if they were the team to defeat the New Day. Imagine that. Shield are the ones that beat New Day, but only when New Day have got that record. So only when they've become the longest reigning tag team champs. But yeah, loved the end of Raw. There weren't that many like rubbish matches or weak moments. Just a few things that, I don't really care about. Cesaro and Sheamus against the Shining Stars. And I didn't really care about the Cruiserweight 6-man tag, but a lot of good promos. Yeah, I enjoyed it. So, yeah, Awesome. I'm pretty sure I'm out of time. So if you like this video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe.